Hola, it's Kaipacha with the Weekly Pele Report. I'm over here in Pisac at the Temple of the Sun, Temple de Sol, and it is February 16th of 2022. There you've got it. Let's get a little closer look. See if I can walk and talk at the same time. Today, of course, is the full moon in Leo, ruled by the sun. Speaking of the Temple of the Sun, ow! Yeah, and at the same time, Venus exactly conjunct Mars. Mars is actually moving faster than Venus. He's going to be passing her up for a couple of weeks. She goes back to get him, and they come together, and he runs away, and then they're doing the dance. They're doing the dance. And after that full moon, it's at the tail end of Leo, and then she goes into Virgo. Okay, by later on today, of course, depending on where you are on planet Earth. And spends Virgo until Friday. So she's moving through there, and then on Friday, what? The sun goes into Pisces. So we've got some shifts going on, and I'll be talking about just exactly what all that means. She opposes Jupiter, of course, and opposes Neptune, as she moves through Virgo. And then on Friday, she's going to move into Libra. Let's look over the wall here at some of these guys. I'm not quite sure how old these are. Maybe I'll try to find out before I upload this thing. But they're pretty old, and you'll see I'm going to put a little video at the beginning, or at least a photo of this rock wall, which is again amazing. Like, you can't even fit a credit card through there. It's phenomenal. Speaking of the moon in Virgo, it's those little details that really make life even more fascinating. So anyway, then she goes into Libra, and comes into, of course, she's going to square Venus and Mars and Pluto on Sunday. Okay, so we've got quite the happenings there with that square. And she's going to trine the sun on Monday, coming into square Mercury and oppose Uranus. And I forgot to mention, but actually yesterday, Tuesday, February 15th, the sun was exactly square the moon's nodes. And if you want to get a little bit of a wider orb of a couple of degrees, this full moon is square to the moon's nodes. So we can be talking about that a little bit. Finally, by Monday, the moon moves into Scorpio. Let's see if I can get over here and get a shot of the valley. Uh-oh, I'm coming to oh, there's one of those walls. Yeah, look at these walls over here. I mean, as above, so below. As without, so within. Astrology is the study of the correlations between the starry realms and the earthly realms. Look at this wall. Now that is some pretty fine architecture. Try to move slow so it doesn't get too blurry. And then, of course, we'll come out. And we'll just close here with the intro that, by next Tuesday, that moon in Scorpio squares that Saturn over there in Aquarius. And then she trines Neptune over there in Pisces. And I'll just get one last shot up that valley. All right, everybody. Came down from the ruins and made it over to the ashram here for this Kundalini yoga retreat. So it's a different set of mountains that you see back there. But yes, indeed, the full moon in Leo today. How beautiful. In square to the moon's nodes. So how do we tie all this together? Sun going into Pisces, to join Jupiter and Neptune. So we're going to have Sun, Jupiter, and Neptune all in Pisces, which is a nice sextile up to Capricorn, where we've got Venus, Mars, and Pluto. So that's, that is pretty nice. And the other thing that we want to understand here is that what's going on now, if you recall, I mean, if you've been listening to the Pele Report or you follow astrology, you will know that first of all, Venus, okay, came up to Pluto. Here's Venus and Mars, right? So Venus came up to Pluto, went retrograde. Mars came up, and just as Venus stationed direct, right? So Mars passed up. With this conjunction now, today, Mars passes up Venus and goes forward. But she's going to, now that she's turned direct, she's going to gain speed, and by March 3rd, she's going to pass him up again and leave him in the dust. That's what the feminine does. No. So you see, this is interesting because we have all the planets, Uranus, Chiron, Neptune, Sun, Saturn, Jupiter, everything is, making, if you go clockwise, look at that chart at the beginning of the video here. It's all okay. This is called, okay, it's almost like a locomotive. It's like everything is within 120-degree trine between that Uranus and Taurus and Mars and Venus up here in Capricorn. And so this is a very potent stream of energy. And when you read the chart that way, what you do is you go clockwise, and the planet that is the last planet, that is the focal point of energy. So it has been Mars. Mars has been trailing. Mars has been, hanging around in Sag and then Capricorn, and all the energy, okay, has been focused out through Mars. Now for 2 weeks, Mars passes Venus, and Venus becomes the focal point, the release of energy, like the locomotive engine of our train, has been Mars. Now for 2 weeks, it's going to be Venus at the helm. Okay, Venus driving the train, right? This is a big shift. And then Mars is going to take over again. So I want you to go on retreat for 2 weeks. Chill out, relax. The sun moving into Pisces is going to catch up to Jupiter. I mean, this is what is creating the mantra for this week. Okay, is just this kind of energy where, yes, there's a lot going on outside. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot of news that we can read, videos we can watch, papers we can check up. I mean, it's just like we can get caught up in everything that's going on out there. But the feminine is receptive. The feminine is inward. Venus is the ruler of the North Node. And this full moon opposition, like I said, it's square these moon's nodes. The square to the moon's nodes is what Jeffrey Green calls the skipped step. I call it the detour, missing piece of the puzzle, but it just has to do with, instead of jumping, we can't go directly from Scorpio to Taurus. We have to go through Leo and Aquarius, Sun and Moon, to get now for this, for this little focal period of time while you're listening to this report. Say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right here in the middle of February. We really need to do this Leo Aquarius stuff, and that will lead us, guide us, help us, assist us get to this North Node in Taurus. And what is this? And so what does that mean? The past, which I will talk, which is also referred to in the Sabian symbol for this full moon. Our past has maybe been long, but full of darkness or frustration. Scorpio, this is intense transformation through loss, betrayal, abandonment, things, death, letting things go, and just like dying to our old way of being, to our old self, and sometimes getting things taken away that we are emotionally attached to, or financially attached to, or sexually attached to, or intellectually attached to. So Scorpio has to do with Pluto. This evolutionary force takes away things that we are overly attached to, that may be detracting or distracting us from our future path. And the future path here is Taurus: self-sufficiency, unconditional self-love, coming home to my own truth, coming home to my own body, to my own resources, to my own possessions, and not fighting, confronting, defending, revenging, whatever, all this intense, emotional energy is coming out of watery Scorpio into earthly Taurus. So this is also like our mantra today: coming to a state of inner peace. It's so beautiful to have Pisces, the sign of magic, mysticism, meditation, ruling the crown chakra, Neptune. All this kind of energy is that, this meditation, this sitting still. Taurus is fixed, and Leo and Aquarius are fixed. So this full moon is also about, it's the culmination. It's like the blossoming of the seed that was sown with that sun conjunct moon in Aquarius 2 weeks ago. The last 2 weeks have been building to this point today, and then it disseminates, goes through Virgo, goes into Libra and Scorpio. So the seed that was sown was autonomy, revolution, the future, freedom, liberation, enlightenment, opening the third eye. So this new seed of this month, a new moon in Aquarius is like, yes, let's break free from the old conventional norms and rules and regulations and institutions, individualize, make new friends, let go of old friends. And so these last 2 weeks that's what it's been about. I hope that you've been doing that, making some new connections. And now with that full moon in Leo, I need to really shine my special, unique gift and give it to the community. The second half of the lunar cycle is about disseminating, right? The moon gives of her light, and she diminishes because she's, it's like gathering all your apples for 2 weeks. You got a bucket full of apples, and the next 2 weeks it's passing all your apples out, right? And then you start over again. So you just kind of look at it like these next 2 weeks is giving of ourselves to our relationships, to our families, to our communities, to each other. And that is a nourishing, way of, like really just letting go, surrendering. That's what the sun moving into Pisces is all about. It's just like whoosh. Let go and let God. Let go and let Source. There comes a time, there's only so much that we can do. This moon then goes into Virgo and opposes opposes Jupiter, opposes Neptune. The Virgo-Pisces axis, I call it the initiation axis. So this is being initiated. And this initiation to me has to do with a new found identity. Full moon in Leo, a new me, shining my light in a new way, right? A revolution within myself, revolting against my old identity and giving birth to a new identity. So I got to read you the Sabian symbol for the, it's actually, this full moon is at 27 degrees 59 minutes. So it's the 28th degree of Leo. Many little birds on a limb of a big tree. A wide and perhaps confusing openness to a multiplicity of inspiring potentialities. There is a stage in the spiritual life which is not different from the everyday life, during which the consciousness, aspiring to greater realizations or more impressive forms of self-expression, feels itself flooded with new ideas and new possibilities. This can be very exciting, yet also quite confusing. It becomes necessary to focus oneself by limiting one's field of vision and activity. We should try not to be overwhelmed with potentialities, yet should enjoy the wonderful lightness of feeling this may bring after perhaps many days, months, or years of frustration or darkness. I want to encourage each and every one of you to party. It has been too long, baby, and it's gotten so dark, and it's gotten so heavy, and it's all so intense, and it's just like, you know what? Woo! We got a nice 2 weeks. Actually, the sun is in Pisces for a whole month. Let's kind of branch it out a little bit. But Venus is the focal planet for a couple of weeks, okay? And, you know, to me, this is just such a beautiful time, this Venus-Mars conjunction going through Capricorn. And yes, it's coming up to Pluto. And this is a transformation that is deep and intense and involves, you know, like a changing of the guard. It's what we're going through now. From patriarchy to something else. And individually, personally, we change our own guard. So it's happening outside, but it's happening inside. We can really, how can I say, focus on and contribute to our own personal soul evolution at this time, you know, by in some ways letting go of what we cannot control, direct, influence, or change. I mean, when it comes down to it, baby, we are all born alone, we die alone. Our soul reincarnates life after life after life after life. What we want to be doing now is be a light of love. Be a light of love. I mean, that is the best gift you can give to everyone you know, to the world at large, is being a light of love, you know? And so many things are going to evolve. I can talk more about that in another video, on another day. But for now, in the midst of the hustle and bustle, I remember what it's all about. Returning to a state of inner peace. One with Source, I no longer have doubt. The demons of doubt are associated with Capricorn and Saturn, especially when they're in aspect to the moon. That moon will be, well, it actually already did oppose Saturn. It will be coming into square Saturn, like I mentioned, when she goes into Scorpio. But I just want to say that this whole move towards transhumanism, this whole move towards the Great Reset, this whole move towards the Internet of Things, this whole move towards, robotic implants and Neuralink and all, this whole move towards expressing or, attaining immortality through technology, what we're actually realizing together as all of humanity is this is the peak of materialism. And materialism will seek to deny the spirit. And it will seek to deny and cut out all of our psychic, astral, mystical, religious, whatever, all these other subtle bodies of the human being are threatening the materialistic view of the human being and of the future. Make no mistake about it, that whenever you are doing your spiritual practice, you are contributing to the strengthening of the reality of a spiritual world behind and weaving through, and actually the source of the material world. So you may not be out there demonstrating, fighting, or this, that, or the other thing, but just really understand that, doing our inner work, it is not just inner work. Because as we become one with Source, right, the light of Source is brightened. So let us be lighthouses of love here on planet Earth, and know that that is good, valuable, important work that needs to be done, and not diminish our spiritual life or write it off as not being productive or not making a difference or not, no. We are. It's just on a different level. So, because I got into the one with Source, wanted to explain that a little more, what I was talking about. In the midst of the hustle and bustle, I remember what it's all about. Returning to a state of inner peace. One with Source, I no longer have doubt. It's all gonna be okay. It's all gonna be good. It's all gonna work out. We do not need to doubt the power of love. In the end, it is all there is. Everything else is just a kaleidoscope of imaginations. Yeah, baby. Ow! Namaste. Aloha. So much love.